I am very passionate about Rhode Island's economy and helping small businesses, and often work with Christine and now Jessica. Welcome to Rhode Island. All I'm going to do, so this is public-private nonprofit partnerships, and we do a lot of partnering. I think that's our differentiator in the state of Rhode Island. We have an amazing, very robust supportive infrastructure, I call it, and we're all interconnected, and I'm proud to work alongside all of you. So I'm going to just go around, have you introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about your organization and what you do in your role, and then we'll chat for 20 minutes. Christine, I'm going to send it over to you. You're at the top of my screen.
Okay. So I'm Christine Smith, and I'm at the Rhode Island Commerce Corporation. We're the statewide economic development organization, but we could never do what we do working with businesses unless we had our partners. And we have amazing partners. I know we're working with the City of Providence and with the United Way. We've worked with them before, and we'll continue to. Also, Tuni, and everywhere she's been, and she's all over. And now at Venn Cafe, we're also working very closely with them. But at the Commerce Corporation, my area is grants, which is a great area to be in, providing grants to companies in the entrepreneurial area, specifically tech-based entrepreneurship.
Good. And Larry, I'm going to bounce down to you. You want to tell us who you, I know this is your second time on today, but some people might have just popped in.
Sure thing. Good afternoon. My name is Larry Warner, and I'm Director of Grants and Strategic Initiatives with United Way of Rhode Island. And United Way is a philanthropic funder of nonprofits. So we've more recently started working with key partners to support small minority and women-owned businesses in the wake of COVID, and ensuring that resources are in place to support safely reopening and to foster resiliency in such a challenging environment. So definitely looking at how we can be supportive in multiple ways. We also are huge at looking at how we marry programmatic and organizational investments with policy work to advance the goals that are in support of the community, and looking at the importance of equity and removing systemic barriers to opportunity. So those are things that we're excited to contribute to the community. And so looking forward to this panel discussion about the resources that are available.
Larry. Jessica, you've recently moved back to Rhode Island, or to Rhode Island? You grew up in Wisconsin, and we're lucky to have you. I'm lucky to have already started working with you. Can you tell us a little bit about your role in the City of Providence?
Sure. So I just started at the City of Providence as the Chief Innovation Officer in the beginning of September. And so it's really a trial by fire hose, I would say, being in this time and with COVID and, so many things kind of up in the air. But it's been a really lovely opportunity because I have so many different projects, both internal to the city and then also working with partners such as Tuni, Social Enterprise Greenhouse, and also some other organizations, which has been a great way to get grounded in Providence and in this role. And so what I do is, I'm a Jill of all trades in some respect. As the Chief Innovation Officer, we see points where either we need some more data information, we need to sort of figure out how to reach out to communities, and I kind of fill that role. And ultimately, like my interest, I have training in public health, but thinking about the upstream determinants of health, I think of we have to build communities that are anti-racist, women-centered spaces, also to really make sure everyone has the opportunities they need to succeed.
Well, thank you. Those of you, I can't assume that that you all know who I am, so I apologize for not introducing myself. I'm the Executive Director of District Hall Venture Cafe Providence. Venture Cafe is our signature Thursday programming, and District Hall is our space in which we operate a public lounge that's free and open to the public Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. As well as rent out private meeting rooms and event space. We host events online, virtually, or hybrid events. We just had our first hybrid event last night. So when Christine and Jessica are talking about working with me, I was also the inaugural director for Innovate Newport, a great public-private partnership, the historic elementary school that we got open last year after 8 years of hills and valleys and many different people championing the project. I was brought in to get it open and build the initial community and culture, and that is it plays an important role in the continued collaborative effort to diversify and strengthen the greater Newport region's economy. So I was lucky to work with Christine Smith and the commerce team over there, because we were actually, that put that project up over the hill, right? So the funding we were able to get, I call it the riprap. I have a background in construction, so riprap, it's like the rocks that you put to solidify things, like a wall, right? So we appreciated that. And I work with Christine in many different roles, right? Because I do a lot of volunteer work as well. I'm a founding mentor of VMS, which is within RIHub, our state's first innovation hub, another great partnership. And VMS, we brought here from MIT, it's group mentoring. So we talk about innovation vouchers with a lot of the ventures that come through VMS. Can you talk, Christine, a little bit about innovation vouchers and some of the other programming that Commerce, I did pop the Restore RI link in the chat.
Yes, thank you. I just saw that. So I think it's, I was catching the end of the last panel. And I know, we were just talking, I think it was Mike who had asked the question of where do you go when you don't know, where to go. And I would really hope that commerce could be a real good starting point for a lot of people. Because again, we have some programs, and I'll talk about the voucher program and some of the other ones, but we only have our small portfolio. But what we really have is a great handle on what else is going on in the state. And so we really like to, see ourselves as, a little bit of a traffic cop, helping you understand, listening, first of all, and I apologize when you call us if we ask a lot of questions, but they're really questions just to better understand where you are, who you are, what you need, and where's the best place to direct you. And so I would hope that you use Commerce RI, commerceri.com. It's a huge website. We also have 521 HELP, which is our hotline. And it's just a way to reach out to commerce and sort of get directed to some of the resources in the state. So we do have a few programs of our own that we manage. Supply RI, which is a great program where if you would like to become a supplier, it started out mostly to the large institutional buyers in the state, like the hospitals and universities. But now with COVID, we're actually playing a great role in just helping even supply needed equipment to small businesses in the state. An example is when we had our Take It Outside initiative and we were providing heaters for patios for restaurants. Those heaters are very hard to find, and we realized through Supply RI that we had a supplier right here in Rhode Island that could source 100 of those heaters immediately and have them delivered for the weekend to our businesses. So that's just one small example. Tuni put up the Restore Rhode Island. If you are a business, you were in business in March, and you have losses because of COVID, please check out that site. You can get, based on the type of business you are, your employee count, and your losses, you can get up to $30,000. And this is just money from the CARES Act. There's relief funding, and there is an application process, but it's meant to cover some of your fixed costs. Those are, and then again, we have our legacy programs, innovation vouchers. That's my specific area that I normally operate in, working with tech-based entrepreneurs. And this is an innovation voucher, is basically a way that if you're an early stage company or even a legacy company, but if you're a company and you're doing research and development, you've hit a gap in your product development because maybe you need a special type of engineering expertise that you don't have, or you might even need just a special piece of equipment. You can find it, or we can help you find it at one of our academic institutions or at one of the hospitals. We can pay for you to get access to that particular expertise. And that's the innovation voucher sort of in a nutshell.
And I have shared a lot of links on here, and one of them is our Rhode Island Small Business Support Program. I even dropped the form link in there. So if you're a Rhode Island small business and you need help, we have funded by CARES Act through the state. We have strengthened and expanded that program. We've already helped over 600 Rhode Island small businesses since the first week in April in partnership with the state. We have amazing expert advisors, free one-on-one sessions. So take advantage of that as well. It's another one. I'm going to jump down to you, Larry. Do you want to share something about what's available that you have going on right now?
Sure. So a couple of initiatives I wanted to share in addition to our regular grant making is two initiatives that one that's new and one that we've been convening for a few years now that support leadership in the nonprofit space. And the executive director of Learning Circle I spoke briefly about at the end of the previous panel. It's a cohort that is convened monthly over the course of 10 months, facilitated by a seasoned nonprofit leader, identifies topics of interest to the leaders, and then brings in either his own expertise or an external expert to facilitate discussion and knowledge, shared knowledge and information and tools around anything from financial planning to resilience to sustainability planning, and really helps to build capacity and support growth in the nonprofit space. In addition to that, over the course of 2020, we have launched the inaugural cohort of our nonprofit innovation lab. And it was a really exciting undertaking, the brainchild of our president and CEO, Courtney Nicolato, and has been implemented in United Way of Dallas for a few years now, a similar model. But what we wanted to do was identify innovative solutions to pressing challenges in Rhode Island. And so in October, November of last year, we solicited applications and received a couple dozen applications, and then invited folks to do a quick pitch. They presented their ideas, the general directionality of their thinking, and then we selected a cohort of 10 senior leaders in the nonprofit sector across the state. Over the first 6 weeks of the Nonprofit Innovation Lab, they participated in a sort of a mini boot camp, which provides some basic business skills, kind of a mini MBA crash course. And then they were partnered with a customized team of mentors, coaches to mature their idea over the months that followed in preparation for a Shark Tank-like final pitch. And of course, because of COVID, things were delayed. But last week, we held the final pitch event last Thursday night virtually, and we had 5 finalists who pitched their ideas. Man Up Incorporated was the grand prize winner. They won a $50,000 prize to support an economic development initiative for men of color formerly incarcerated using hydroponically grown vegetables. And so that, a panel of judges selected that as the winning prize. And then we had 2 other awards go to Genesis Center and to College Crusade. I'm going to make a shameless plug, not for us, but for the finalists. There's still an opportunity for the public to vote on who receives a Public Choice Award. And so I'll throw the link in the chat box before we take off. But the reason why I'm sharing that is because United Way is thinking about not only how do we provide resources to the community, how do we remove systemic barriers, but how do we foster innovation and resilience and growth in the nonprofit sector, and providing resources, financially, technical assistance to support leaders in developing and implementing innovative solutions and doing things differently. So I think whether it's entrepreneurship, which is more what these ideas were, or entrepreneurship, I think there's definitely an opportunity to think about how we approach opportunities and challenges in our state, and then how do we provide the right resources to support addressing them.
Thank you so much. What an amazing program that was. I attended some of the pitch event. I caught the end of it, and I voted for House of Hope as the audience favorite, and we had them on actually last Thursday. I love some of the projects they're working on, and I'm a sustaining donor with House of Hope. Love that, and just love the promotion of entrepreneurship and within those organizations, and that mini MBA style program you put together with SEG. That was fantastic. Jessica, do you want to talk about some of the support that that exists and that you're creating with the City of Providence and in some partnerships?
So the biggest thing that we have going forward, or that we're sort of building with Tuni, is there's these great resources both at Commerce, SEG, Tuni's work. All of that is really lovely, but there's this sort of digital divide or gap where a lot of our small businesses often, and I'm thinking specifically of restaurants, but even kind of across the spectrum of business types. Often they're either minority, women-owned, or immigrant-owned, and they don't have the resources to really connect to those really rich opportunities through Commerce or SEG or innovation, sort of the innovation community. So what we're hoping to do is sort of support our really small businesses, sort of build that both the web presence and facility with technology so that they can access these opportunities, and then also building a digital main street or marketplace, so that these organizations that not everyone's, but so much of the business has been lost for these small organizations, and so we really need to open up new venues for them to find customers and sell their products. And so the project that we have going on with Tuni is both to support them in bridging that digital divide and then shifting them towards a digital main street. And so we're really excited about that. It's still kind of in the works in terms of the shape and the funding of it. But we really see our role as kind of filling that pipeline or that gap between communities that really need the resources that Commerce IRI has and other organizations, but don't have the means to really make the most of it. And then other things we're working on. Internally, we're working on improving our procurement processes so that we can really engage with minority and women-owned businesses, because we have such a wealth of them in our community, and we want to make sure that the city, when we're engaging with contractors, we want to make sure that we're prioritizing those businesses.
Awesome. You're all amazing partners, and we are a team. And those of you out there who know me know that I always use the hashtag "Together We Are Stronger." I really believe that, and I think that's one of the many things that makes Rhode Island special. We are all connected to each other. We can make things happen fast, and I know our organization. We work in lockstep with the state's economic development strategy. We're a result of Innovation 1.0, and we're meant to drive 2.0, which we were doing in January and February, and then the world turned upside down. But I'm very proud of our team in Rhode Island for we were able to jump in and help do crisis mitigation for these micro businesses, these small businesses, and while simultaneously continuing to support the growth innovation sectors, med tech, life sciences. We started today running simultaneous programs. We have a program. We had a program this morning with Rhode Island Bio focusing on innovation and life sciences. So we've been able to focus on that and the growing offshore wind supply chain that we're going to play an integral role in Rhode Island. But we have dropped a lot of links in the chat. I hope that everyone takes advantage of all that we have to offer in the state. We have so much going on, and I think the hardest part, and you'll all agree with me, I'm sure, is, outreach, to reaching those that need the support and creating that bridge to get them to where they need to go, right? So like I know with our organization, we're all talking and figuring out, because together we'll have, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. We've helped 600 small businesses in the small business support program alone. By the end of the year, it's going to be over 1,000, I hope. but how many more thousand are there right behind those businesses? And getting to the ones that need it the most, everyone needs it. I mean, but the historically underserved communities, and meeting them where they're at. That's something that we're focused on in our small business support program. And all the advisors, I can't stress enough to them, empathy, always practice empathy, and always meet them where they're at, not where we think they should be or where we think they're at, and really trying to provide those services they need. So we have a few minutes left. Is there anything anyone wants to add here? Christine, I guess we'll just keep going in order. You're muted. Sometimes you have to hit it twice.
I got it.
Yeah, okay.
I was just adding something to the chat box. I'm just putting up the Commerce RI website, and please just do not hesitate. Go there because we have not only information on our programs, but we, as I said, try to be a clearinghouse and give you information on all sorts of support that's available in the just in the general ecosystem. And hang in there. I know that's more than anything from talking to businesses, since March. You're not alone. And as Tuni says, we're all in this together, and we all have to lean on each other. And just hang in there. It will get better.
Awesome. Larry, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I think I've enjoyed today's conversation across the panels. I will plug Commerce and say that they've been a great partner to work with and have as a thought partner, and how we can address the needs of the community of the business community from different directions, and providing different tools and resources. And so thank you, Christine, and your team for that partnership. And then I'm going to drop a link in the chat. We are accepting applications for the next cohort of the Executive Director Learning Circle. So please feel free, if you are a chief executive of a nonprofit, to check out the information and apply if you're eligible. And we look forward to.
What is the timeline of that, Larry?
Applications, I believe, are being accepted through December 4th, and then the cohort runs from January through October.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that program. It's really unbelievable. And, and it's the ripple effect of all that positive change we're pushing, right? So all we can do is keep our heads down, keep our sleeves rolled up, and keep doing our part to help, right? So with that, I think Janice is coming back on, because is there anything you want to add? With the City of Providence is doing a stunning job. We just had Bonnie Nickerson on last week, and the transformation of the city. I was with her last year, and I looked up and said, "Oh my gosh, look at all you've done." Bonnie is the head of planning for the City of Providence, and it's I think those of us who have our heads down and sleeves rolled up, and I said that to Jesse, who heads one of the heads of the commerce team, and he said, "Don't put your head up. We still have too much work to do." But that rare moment when I did pick my head up, and I just remain in awe of all the transformation the City of Providence continues to undergo, and your team there is wonderful to work with. And I appreciate you being part of Team RI and all the change you're driving. So is there anything you want to end with before we wrap this up and finish up with the last half hour of networking?
I would just say I really encourage, and I've noticed on my phone, I've been getting LinkedIn sort of requests, which is fantastic. And I really want to encourage people, if they have ideas or, issues that they want us to think about and address and sort of build into our programming, please reach out. We really want to be, we want our solutions to be community, and so the way for us to do that is to hear from you. So don't hesitate. And if I don't know an answer to something, I'm going to find it for you. So I really hope to hear from a lot of folks.
I love that we have a Chief Innovation Officer for the City of Providence, and you are wonderful to work with. And if anyone needs to get to Jessica, feel free to go through Amy or I, and we'll happily connect you over to Jessica and her team. With that, I'm also going to add, we have a state rep in the audience that's amazing. and she is on our small business team. So I'm going to just share your link, Liana. I hope that's okay. And if you're still here, I hope that some Rhode Island entrepreneurs will connect with you, whatever table you're at. And I'm going to try to find you when I pop out of the stage and down into the tables. So thank you, panelists. This was an awesome conversation. I appreciate each and every one of you so much.